Okay, picture this. Out there in the absolute quiet of deep space, two gigantic islands of stars are on a collision course. And I'm not talking about science fiction. This is the real, actual destiny of our own Milky Way, a beautiful disaster that's been in the works for billions of years.
Now, we all tend to think of this as some event way, way off in the distant future, right? Something our well, you get the idea, grandkids won't even have to worry about. But what if I told you that the first steps of this cosmic merger, the handshake between our galaxy and Andromeda, have already happened? Let's get into what that actually means.
All right, first things first, we have got to completely change how we think about a galactic collision. Seriously, just forget everything you've seen in the movies, because this is nothing like that.
So right now, as you're listening to this, the Andromeda galaxy is barreling towards us at an absolutely mind-boggling 110 kilometers per second. That's fast enough to get from New York to LA in about 40 seconds. And look, this isn't just a guess, it's a measured speed. Scientists know this because of its blue shift. You know how an ambulance siren sounds higher pitched as it comes towards you? Well, it's the same idea with light. As Andromeda gets closer, its light shifts to the bluer end of the spectrum. So there's no doubt about it, it's on its way.
And here's the most important part. The word collision is kind of misleading. It's not a crash. It's a merger. A really, really slow dance that takes billions of years, where these two massive galaxies are just pulled together by their own gravity until, eventually, they become one.
So yeah, the myth is all about explosions, smashed stars, total chaos. But the reality? Oh, it's so much cooler. It's this incredibly elegant cosmic dance. Gravity pulls and stretches things, gas clouds slam together and trigger massive bursts of new stars. It's not about destruction, it's about creation on a scale that's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
And this brings us to the big reveal. The collision has, in a way, already started. See, the shiny, starry part of a galaxy that we can see? That's just a tiny fraction of its total mass. Most of it is in a huge, invisible sphere of dark matter called a halo. Think of it like a giant, ghostly atmosphere around the galaxy. Well, our halo and Andromeda's halo, they're already touching. They're overlapping, interacting, and that gravitational tug is what makes the whole merger a done deal. The show has already begun.
So if this whole thing is already underway, what's it actually going to look like from our backyard here on Earth? Let's take a little trip into the future and check out our night sky.
So here's the roadmap. Right now, we're at the very start, where Andromeda is just a faint little fuzzy spot in the sky. But fast forward about 3.5 billion years, and that's when things get really interesting. The first close pass is going to kick off some spectacular changes.
Can you just imagine looking up at night? Instead of just our familiar Milky Way, the entire sky would be crisscrossed with these enormous, glowing rivers of stars. They're called tidal tails, ripped from both galaxies by gravity. We're talking about the greatest light show our planet has ever seen. It would be absolutely breathtaking.
Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, but it definitely leads to the big question, right? What about us? What does all this mean for our little solar system? Are we in danger?
I mean, this is what everyone thinks of first. A cosmic demolition derby. Billions of stars just smashing into each other. But is that really what's going to happen?
Nope, not even close. It's totally false. And the reason is actually pretty simple. Galaxies are mostly just empty space. Like really empty.
The chances of any two given stars actually hitting each other during this whole merger is just ridiculously small. We're talking about a 1 in 100 billion chance. To give you some perspective, if our sun was a ping pong ball in New York City, the next closest star would be another ping pong ball somewhere around Denver. Space is just vast.
So direct hits aren't the problem. The real issue, the real threat, is gravity. The combined gravitational pull of two entire galaxies merging is going to completely scramble everything. Our sun is basically going to be grabbed and thrown like a cosmic slingshot into a totally new orbit within this new, bigger galaxy.
Scientists have run the simulations, and here are the most likely outcomes. There's a 65% chance, the most likely scenario, that our solar system gets shoved way out to the suburbs of the new galaxy. There's a 1 in 4 chance we get tossed into the distant halo. And get this, there's even a 10% chance we get kicked out completely, becoming a rogue star system, just drifting alone in the dark between galaxies. No matter what, our cosmic neighborhood is going to look completely different. So, after billions of years of this beautiful, chaotic dance, what happens? When the dust settles, what do we have left?
Well, after about 7 billion years, it's all over. Our two beautiful spiral galaxies will have finally merged into one single enormous new galaxy. And astronomers, in a moment of great creativity, have nicknamed it Milkdromeda. And Milkdromeda is going to be a whole new beast. It won't have those pretty spiral arms like we do. It'll be what's called a giant elliptical galaxy, basically a huge, smooth blob of stars. All that merging chaos will use up most of the gas. So making new stars, that'll pretty much stop. And right at its heart, you'll have a new, terrifyingly massive black hole from our two original ones combining.
But hang on, there's one last pretty profound twist to this whole story. It turns out, the fate of our galaxy is in a race with the fate of our very own star.
Yeah, it all comes down to two different cosmic clocks, and they're both ticking. You've got the merger clock, which says the whole Milkdromeda thing will be complete in about 7 billion years. But then you have our sun's clock, and it's ticking a little bit faster. In about 6 billion years, our own star is going to start puffing up into a red giant, boiling our oceans, and making Earth completely uninhabitable.
So here's the real punchline. The biggest threat to the future of life on Earth isn't this spectacular galaxy-spanning collision. It's the totally predictable, inevitable life cycle of our very own sun. The galactic fireworks show will happen, but we won't have a front row seat.
And that kind of leaves us with this one last, pretty humbling question. Our galaxy is going to be reborn in one of the most incredible events the universe has to offer. But with Earth long gone before the grand finale, who or what is actually going to be around to see the dawn of Milkdromeda?